Welcome to Erica Lynn Speaks. An inspirational, motivational conversation designed specifically to help you move forward. And now, here's Erica Lynn.
Welcome. This is your girl, Erica Lynn, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Erica Lynn Speaks podcast. I'm back. I'm so excited today. We're going to be talking about peace, power, and purpose. But before we get into the show, I want to make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. Go on over to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, show your girl Erica Lynn some love. Say, hey, we here. Because whenever we come up with a new episode, when you subscribe, you'll get a notification to let you know that we're on live. And so I'm excited for today's episode because I got a special guest coming to join me. You know I probably sound a little bit funny today. I had been under the weather all week, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do the podcast today, but I had to put my big girl pants on, y'all, and get it together and show up on this live. So I may feel a little bit crappy, but I'm here because I made a commitment to you every Thursday live at 7 p.m. through heck and hot water to be here delivering a message, a power, a purpose, peace, something. I want somebody to walk away with just saying, okay, I was revitalized by watching this episode of Erica Lynn Speaks. Man, she gave me a word today. So I really don't have much to say on this intro today, right? Because I'm just excited about my guest. But before I get into my guest, I am very appreciative about all the sponsors. We've been getting tons of emails coming in. And as we begin to prepare the sponsors on the upcoming episodes, this episode of Erica Lynn Speaks podcast was brought to you by
Experience the difference with Executive Transportation Services Network, your trusted leader in luxury ground transportations and concierge services. Our award-winning team delivers safe, reliable, and professional services every time. Call 734-770-8990. Choose Executive Transportation Services Network, where excellence rides with you.
Shout out to ETSN 24/7. Man, I rode in one of their vehicles and it was a smooth ride. But if you want to be a sponsor, you can send an email to sponsor@IamEricaLynnSpeaks.com, and we will definitely make sure that we get the sponsor packet out to you. So without further ado, let's just get right into the show. Okay? Because I'm so excited about my guest today. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. At age 27 years old, she's a bilingual entrepreneur and global professional, fluent in Mandarin Chinese and English, with a life shaped by international education, cultural immersion, and adaptability. She is the founder of DejaWork.com, where she provides audiobook narration, voiceover services, and select translation support, helping stories and brands connect across languages and audiences. She lived overseas in Taiwan from age 15 to 22, beginning her journey as a recipient of a fully funded U.S. government scholarship through Nestle, which supported a year of intense language study and cultural immersion. She later earned a full-ride scholarship to Wenzhou Ursuline University of Languages, where she majored in translation interpretation, further strengthening her expertise in cross-cultural communication. While abroad, she worked professionally, launched multiple business ventures, and explored diverse opportunities that sharpened her entrepreneurial mindset and global perspective. She currently works as a medical biller and coder and is in an intentional transition back to school, preparing for a new career path that fully leverages her language skills, global experience, and passion for communication. Her story is one of courage, curiosity, and evolution, proving that purpose can be built across borders, careers, and seasons of life. I want you guys to join me in welcoming Deja Nance to the podcast.
Hi.
Welcome, Deja. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you are blessing me with your presence here on my podcast.
Of course, I always save myself for the best. I always come through.
Well, I appreciate you. And many people don't know, or some may know, you are my daughter.
Yes, I am. Like mama, like daughter.
And so that's why I was so excited to have you on the show, because a lot of people always says, well, where is your daughter? She speaks Chinese. A lot of people have followed your career all when you were overseas, and they had a lot of questions centered around your time in Taiwan. And so I just want to be able to answer some of those questions. Well, have you answer some of those questions for our audience? How's that?
That's great for me. I'm ready.
Okay. So you moved to Taiwan at 15 years old. What was the biggest culture shock moment that forced you to grow quickly?
I would say actually being treated like not just an adult at that young age, but like people were actually curious about me. I was kind of a wonder. It was coming from America, where we are the minority here. We're interesting. Don't get me wrong. We're us. But being over there and being like the first Black person a lot of the people had seen, it was a new like point of view, a new way of living for me. And that woke me up a lot. I'm like the first person to represent Black people, African Americans out in this area. So how I carry myself is gonna leave a big impression for all these people coming after me. Like the most access they had to us was Obama at that time,
Okay.
Jay-Z, like big names. Nobody really knew that Black people were living in America. It was just the stereotypical blonde hair, blue eyes. They didn't know anything about our life besides if you watched a gangster movie. So it was nice to be that first step to introduce them to our culture.
Okay. Okay. So how did receiving the U.S. government scholarship from Nestle Y change the trajectory of your life compared to staying in your hometown?
I always make the joke with those closest around me that had I not left, I probably would have ended up in the stereotypical job. And there's nothing, I'm not like talking down on this career, but I would have been a CNA or would have went to school to do something regular, had the simple house life, but I wouldn't really have explored my gifts and my talents. I would have had that stereotypical girl from Detroit life who was smart, because I would have tried to go after something different, but it wouldn't have been to the fullest extent of what I felt was calling on my life.
Okay.
It just really opened doors, especially to those around me, because I just remember when I told y'all I was going to do this, everybody was like, you want to go to China? You want to go to Japan? Where are you going? Why do you pick there? Like, out of all places, it was shocking because that just wasn't something Black people did. Even people from Detroit. My dad never leaves the state. Like, he don't even want to leave the city. So that's a common occurrence with people around us. It was just shocking that not only did I choose to leave the state, I chose to leave the country, and I chose to go to the farthest country, thousands of miles away, with the hardest language that we wouldn't even, it's not Spanish or French. We wouldn't even have considered that.
So when did you start the love of Chinese? Like, when did you start speaking it, or, wanted to start speaking Chinese?
Second grade, I was going to Blackwell. Shout out to Blackwell, guys.
Woo!
I was going to Blackwell. We used to do this thing called Pass the Passport. And every class and every floor would pick a country, pick a food, and they would do like a report on it. And you would go around and stamp your passport when you got to that country. And I don't remember what grade it was or what class, but they had China. And that was, we used to be, me and my siblings, we were anime fans. We would watch the Kung Fu movies. And I remember when our Lamont, our family member, brought over Naruto and Dragon Ball Z to us, introduced us to like Wu-Tang and different things like that. When I seen China, it was already that peak interest from us already being interested in those type of anime and cartoons, but they dove deeper into the culture. Red was the color used for good fortune. We came from poverty, so that automatically attracted me to it. It made me want to, okay, wow, they build their whole culture off of this. And then it was already attention grabbing. So I looked at the characters. I'm like, this look like random drawings and scribble. This looks nothing like what I'm used to seeing. So everything about it that was difficult or something that we had never seen before is what drew me to it. So second grade piqued my interest. I remember coming home that day telling you, I want to go to China. You was like, not if you don't speak the language. You can't go anywhere you don't know the language. So then from there, I hit up Uncle Junior. He gave me the Rosetta Stone to learn the language. Rest in peace, Uncle Junior. And that was my first step into teaching myself. You helped me sign up for the pen pal.
Right. Listen, and remember you did have the pen pal, but then I also paid for you to have Chinese lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if y'all remember, but we had AOL where the dial up AOL. And so we would dial in for the tutor to come and teach you Chinese. And I did it all up until I couldn't afford it no more. But you was doing good.
I had to get my hands on it any way possible because you told me I can't go unless I learn the language. So from the moment you said that was like a goal. I was going to get it done. I took it as a challenge. Like, okay, I'm going and I'm going to learn this language in every way possible. So yeah, you gave me the lessons. After that, we started getting in touch with different programs. I want to say when I changed middle schools, that was the first school I went to that offered Chinese as a language. So then from there, we got more in touch and contact with different programs that were actually giving actual Chinese lessons.
Right. Well, really what it was is that, shout out to your Auntie Dawn. You were a very gifted child and you were always advanced. And a lot of the inner city schools did not offer enough to meet your academic needs. And so I actually had to move out of the city of Detroit and move to the outskirts so that we could find a school that meets your academic needs. So that's how we ended up in Lynn's Cruz school district, because they offered Chinese as like a number one language.
And I want to shout out my Chinese teacher from Lance Cruz High School North, Mr. Greg Henry, Mr. Gao, we used to call him. He was the one who actually motivated me to really he was like, you got a gift at this. You're from learning it on your own with the Rosetta Stone and what we did compared to people who may have had the finances to afford languages like an actual tutor. He told me that I grasped it really well. And he's like, you got to keep up with this. Keep going. You're going to go over there. And he was actually the one that provided us with the scoop for Nestle Y because he felt I really, really, really could blossom from that opportunity. So thank you, Mr. Henry.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Henry. You have took my baby. But I think what's important people need to know, when you applied, you didn't get it first.
No. So for those of you, and I do, I'm technically a Nestle Y ambassador. So it is my job to promote Nestle Y. For those of you who may have come from the inner city like me, we did not have the money to send me overseas to Asia. A ticket is over $1,000, and that's sometimes not even including round trip. And
that
what
was
you have
back
to pay
then, before the prices increased.
Right? It's probably more expensive now. Nestle Y is a scholarship that is offered by the government through the entire United States of America. To the program I was in was for about to graduate high school students or just graduating if you're in your gap year. You are in competition with literally every American high school student. So if how many people are in America? If we have a large population, that's you versus every nearly graduated high school student or just graduated. You have to write essays. You have to do video interviews. You have to meet at the nearest, it's like the embassy or our representation with the government in your location and have an interview with them face to face. Bring your family. They do a deep dive and background check. You have to really show why they're going to spend all of this money on you to send you overseas, to put you in school, because they're paying for every single thing. You don't have to come out of pocket for anything.
Right.
We didn't have to spend any ounce of money unless we wanted to buy extra stuff, but they still give you a stipend. So you have to really show why you're worth them putting all this money into you to send you to another country where you're going to ultimately represent them. And then they're paying for you to get more opportunities while you're out there. Yeah. So it's a great program, and it's free to submit everything. They pay for your visa, your passport, tickets, everything that you need to get out there. You just have to be really studious. Don't just do it just for the heck of it, because you're up against literally every other American, and every step of the application process is very rigorous, because they're trying to weed out the people who are just trying to use it to not really embrace the opportunity, but who truly need it. And in my group, there was 7 of us who got selected for the Chinese language for the year. I was the only African American girl.
Yes. And it was so funny because when we went to your interview, everybody at they were all waiting for you to arrive, and they kept saying, who is this black girl? We like everybody, all of the teachers from people from all over, they was waiting on this little black girl to come in, because all the other students said, even if I don't get the scholarship, you guys should meet Deja. You should meet Deja. And so it was nice to be embraced when we walked in the room. So then you got the scholarship. Well, you got the 6-week scholarship,
Yeah,
which I was happy about that, right? I was happy she got the 6-week scholarship for the summer. Bam, she was gonna come home. We was gonna rock out our senior year together. And then what did you do?
So I had like a little cahoots meeting with the government officials who was hosting my interview. We first sat down with my mom. She was happy. I knew from the beginning I wanted to do the year program, but I convinced her to at least be okay with the summer program. And so when I got there, they just kept saying, well, why aren't you doing the year program? You know, you already speak it so well. It's going to be the most beneficial to you because of what you're trying to do with it in life. You need to do the year program. I'm like, we got to convince her. So the whole interview, we're sitting there. The government officials are just like, she'll succeed very well with the year program. We can just switch her over. And really, I feel like that was a gift in itself, because that's a whole nother process you have to go through to get over from the summer to the year program. And they were willing to switch me right then and there, just off of meeting me and us trying to convince her. So I thought that was great. But she was looking at me this whole time like, y'all planned this.
Yeah,
you know
because you skipped, instead of going to high school for your senior year, you went straight to college for your senior year in high school. And because we have a great relationship with the superintendent, then he accepted your college credits for your high school credits. And so when you flew home at the end of the year, you graduated with your senior class. But the question that everybody want to know is, how did you end up with a 4-year scholarship to go to college in Taiwan?
So I want to say, first off, everything is all because of God. How everything worked out, how he just was moving them pieces around, like, nah, from 6 weeks to 1 year quick, you're gonna be the only girl that gets selected out of in this group of 7 from thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, to landing me in the college that I got in. I was originally gonna go to China. I ended up getting selected for Taiwan, which it worked out amazing. The college that was partnered with Nestle Y was Wenzhou Ursuline University of Languages. So during the scholarship, our partnership classes where we were learning our language, and I was able to finish whatever senior prerequisites I had to graduate. I was taking them at the college. I had made great partnerships with a lot of the professors, and even the people who run the, I guess you call it like the foreigners department of alumni part of the college, if you're going to be an exchange student or going to be an overseas student that's taking a full degree. And I kept saying, I don't want to go back home. I'm really enjoying this year here. I've met so many people. I want to stay here. And they're like, oh, just fill out the form. All you have to do is take what's called, the abbreviation is the TOEFL. It's the official Chinese language test for foreigners, kind of like they have to take the English test to get certified to go overseas or teach English or do things like that. I had to take the Chinese version of it, and I had to score higher than just moderate in order to be able to enroll in college. And I believe I scored in the level of band B, which was advanced to almost fluent. So at that point, that was after my year being there, I had scored just under native and right at advanced to fluent, which was enough to get me into the school. And I had already been doing like performances and speech contests. So they all really liked me, and they kind of they gave me the information which they normally give for like Chinese tourists or people from Japan. not really Americans, because most Americans who come and want to enroll in school, they have the funds, so they don't really need the scholarship. And I signed up, and while I was there, they told me that I had been accepted for the scholarship. You can come back for the fall semester to do your full degree. So
yeah, so I get the phone call saying, Mom, I got a 4-year scholarship to Taiwan. I says no, because the plan was for her to go to Arizona State, in which we filled out the application and you got in there. So you know what she did? She says, Mom, this is a free scholarship, and you don't have $50,000 a year to send me to Arizona State. So it really was kind of like a no-brainer, but a slap in the face at the same time. So my son and I, we put our money together and we sent her on to college in Taiwan. So that's how she ended up in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So listen, what I want to know is, well, first of all, now we're talking about you in Taiwan. So obviously people have to hear you speak Chinese. So how about you tell them something wonderful about yourself in Chinese and then translate it in English?
OK， 大家好，很高兴有你们来看我妈妈的很棒的电视节目，我真的非常感谢你们哦。我希望她未来真的会很兴奋，这个会变成一个世界上最大的节目。谢谢你们。
谢谢嘛。What did you
So
say?
I just said thank you all for coming here to watch my mom's lovely, I called it a TV show because that's what it's going to be. I'm speaking it into fruition. And I said that in the future, this is going to grow to be something very big, a very famous, what's the best English word? A very famous entertainment, piece of entertainment, kind of like when you think of big podcast shows, big TV show host, that's going to be her. But I thanked you all for coming in to watch, and I was happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So that's exciting. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we know that you speak Chinese, went to school overseas, and you've taken a lot of those skill sets and you transition it to starting your own company. So what inspired you to start DejaWork.com, and how do you use your Mandarin Chinese skills to help brand the new audience?
So I honestly, after coming back from Taiwan, which I came back during COVID, or right before it got really bad, I should say, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I think we were pivoting careers at that point. I was going to be a flight attendant at one point. I remember that journey, and you guys can go back and watch that show years ago. We did, where we kind of had to switch everything around. I was finding myself, and I was trying to figure out the best way to utilize all of the skills I have into something that can make me money, but also into something that can possibly turn into a good career, that I'm not just wasting me going to Taiwan for all these years and now I'm back here and I'm doing something that had nothing to do with all of those years over there. So it kind of came to me like, well, I'm not going to find this all in one job, but why not start my own business? Because I had the experience from doing that overseas. So Deja Work was kind of like, hey, you've done this before, put all your skills into one, and then let's shape it a little bit better to what is a good industry skill that I learned that was earning me money overseas, and let's market it and let's do this thing legit. So yeah,
because I wanted to ask you, would you do the audio voice for my book 7 Techniques of Healing?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
I have no issue doing
Thank
that.
you. And so so a lot of audio books you may hear Deja's voice. And if you are interested and you've written a book and you're interested and you need the audio version, Deja, that's what she does, audio books. And so you can go to her website, DejaWork.com, and and she does her thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Okay, so in the world of voiceovers and narration, how does being bilingual influence your tone and delivery?
I would say I definitely have the advantage because I'm lucky to have a lot of clients lately who have like maybe Chinese, Chinese parts or characters in the books or places where they talk about the world. And I can kind of hone in on that because I've been there, or I know how you pronounce it. So you're not listening to that audiobook where you got the normal American voice, and they're mispronouncing everything. Like Chang is Chang, and Shun is Shan. Like it's not, you don't really get the full immersement of the book, because you could tell they're kind of just Americanizing everything.
Mhm.
So I get that benefit when it comes to that, but also because Chinese is a tonal language, I'm used to changing my voice up a bit. It gives me the edge to kind of really have full character range. And I'm not just, hi, my name is Deja. I can really dive into each character based on the tone of the book that you give me. If we in New York, I'm Rock from Power. If we're in a collegiate school, then I'm going to be a very collegiate, high vocabulary, a high enunciating person.
Mhm.
But if we have to go to some fantasy world, I can kind of kick in a little bit of a characterizing fantasy accent there. So it just broadened my range of my ability.
Because in Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken, right, you did video games, and what other kind of commercials and things have you done?
So in Taiwan, which was my first introduction to voiceovers and audiobook narrations, I actually started off doing their English test. I was the exam voice that all the high school and college students would hear. Question 1, what does the word run mean? How do you use this in a sentence? That was my voice session. So I would do that. And then I started meeting the studio and the production companies over there, like, oh, you should do this. I would do the English voice to video games, or the English version of the Chinese video games that they would have. Then I started meeting new people who were like, oh, you should do this commercial. You should do the voiceover for when we do the translation side to our American customers. I did, it's their version of Walgreens, kind of their store chain. I would do those. And then because I spoke English and Chinese, that's when I started to kind of mix it in with my translation skills and translate their ads. And also some of the modeling, I got opportunities from there as well.
So a side note, did you ever in Taiwan, and even here in America, people speaking Chinese, did you ever act like you didn't know what they were saying because they was talking about you?
Yeah, me and my brother actually used to do that all the time. So me and Q, if you guys don't know, that's my big brother. When he came over there to live with me for a bit, we had our tradition of going to the movies, going to get hot pot, and hanging out and go to the claw machines. So when we would go to the movies or go to the restaurant or wherever we're walking down the street, people would always try to guess like what nationality we are, because I'm darker than him. He's light skin. I'm dark skin, especially out there. It's an island. So I got chocolate, and it was funny. So they would guess, oh, maybe they're from Mexico, or no, I think they're African, or no, or they would just be saying certain things. And we would wait till like the very last minute after they say all they're gonna say, and then we just start speaking Chinese to each other. And they're like, whoa, you understand? And that was just funny. We would you get a kick out of it when you try to see, okay, what you gonna say?
Yeah, because when I went to Taiwan, you just stopped translating for me, and that wasn't fair. I tried to learn. It's very like to get my age and try to learn something new is a little bit challenging, opposed to me. You started in second grade, and then Kulante, I don't know when he started, because I think he started speaking Japanese first, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And so I think that the transition was kind of easier for both of y'all than it was for me. That's funny. So what was the most challenging business venture you launched while living in Taiwan, and what did it teach you about global markets?
Okay, so I want to say the biggest one that kind of took off fast that I tried to partner with other Americans. Shout out to Dwayne Moman and the other partners. We did Black Crown Empire. It was kind of an entertainment music business, because I also did music over there, and he was a musician as well. And I kind of linked up with the other Americans, especially us, us Black folks. We always meet up wherever we are. And we created that. And because I spoke Chinese, I was able to interlock his ideas with the Taiwanese side of the entertainment industry. And hip hop was big down there at that time.
Yeah.
They were kind of behind the curve. So where we're at now, they're still in like the Tupac and Biggie phase. They are definitely, it's like you jump into a time machine and they're wearing the big jerseys, and like my dad's generation, they're still wearing those clothes. B-boying is still like it just came out. You would feel like you just walked back in the day. They're
Okay.
not with the little babies and where we are now.
'Cause that was cool over there.
Yeah.
That was hip.
So that launched. We partnered with a bunch of different nightclubs. The country and the foreigners over there would throw like spring break parties, huge. One of the shout out to Brickyard, they would throw one of the biggest spring break parties that people from all the surrounding countries, they would send the top 100 DJs from all over the world, and you would put people on stage and everybody just gathered there to see you perform. So we would partner with all of those different organizations to kind of put our culture to the front, is what Black Crown Empire was about. But it definitely taught me learning management skills. I was young. Everybody was older than me. I was a baby. So I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew what was the best way to do everything. And because I had my skill, I kind of felt like I had the one up on everybody, like, especially with my language. Nah, let's do this. I have some great ideas, don't get me wrong, because it did what it was supposed to do at that time, but we definitely could have gone a lot further. But everything happens for a reason. So
God had to bring you home.
Yes.
It's time to come home, okay? So you're currently working in medical billing and coding while transitioning back to school. How do you balance a technical day at work with a creative business?
Well, so it's been a journey, but because it's a 9 to 5, I actually don't have much of an issue with that. Only thing is not being mentally challenged, like as much as I want to be pushed in the medical billing and coding. It's very, like you said, technical. And I am a creative, and I do have moments where I feel like, oh, I could really be pushing my brain a little bit further because I grasp things. She likes to say, well, everybody doesn't learn as fast as you, Deja. Everybody doesn't get this as fast as you. Because I didn't go to school for this. This is what you do professionally. And I learned from watching her over the years. So it caught on fast, but it's not really that interest in it. So I'm good at what I do at work, but I'm lacking.
Great at what you do at work.
Well, thank you. But it lacks passion.
It comes easy for you. And I think you just compute faster than a lot of us older people. I can say that. Okay, but you do a great job.
Thank you.
So many people are afraid to change career paths in their late 20s. What advice do you have for someone who feels stuck in one lane?
Do it. Go for it. The one thing you don't want to have is the regret. I wish I would have done this. Go for it. Any opportunity that you get. One thing I can always say is, God will always bring you back to the path or purpose that he had you set for. You may delay yourself or put yourself on a detour by personal choices that you make. But if it is destined for you, if God has that purpose for you, he's always going to keep bringing up little opportunities or doors that'll open for you to get yourself back on track. So it's never too late. Even if that's 30, 40 years down the line, when that door opens and oh, this is what I did always want to do. I felt like this was for me. Take it. Don't feel like you're throwing everything off of array. You don't have to stay stuck in one thing. Like medical billing and coding is great for me. It's a great stable career. It gave me the stability I needed from being a travel bug and not really having a formal job, I should say. But any opportunities I'm getting now, I'm taking them. And I'm pursuing forward because I know that there is more out there for me. So go for it. Don't feel bad about it. Everybody, if they're real loved ones in your life, will support you. And even if they don't, God will. You'll always have him by your side, and he'll make sure whatever path he opens for you, he's going to pull you through the end. So.
Absolutely. And what is for you, right? And so now it's time for us to take questions from our virtual audience. And if our in-person audience have questions, feel free. Do you have any questions from the virtual audience?
So it looks like we have quite a few comments here.
Okay.
We can shout out the comments here. I'll bring this over here.
Okay.
So we've got Martha Presley. Hello, Miss Erica.
Hi, Martha.
I'll put those up. Hi, Deja. Hey, Grandma. That's my grandma, yeah. We have Brian in here. All y'all look alike. I know. That's my twin.
Period.
That's my twin. We have Q saying, "Hey y'all, well said. Thank you, Q. We appreciate you.
Right.
We really appreciate you today.
Right.
We do.
We do. You got it together.
Appreciate you." We have Tanisha. Shout out to my favorite cousin. The squad is coming through today.
Right.
Y'all. The squad is coming through. Okay. All right. We have Jalen. Jalen couldn't be here with us today, but he is watching live. He says, "So proud of you, sis. Thank you, little brother. I love you. I appreciate you." People laughing at the comment, Rock from Power. We have Pastor Jacqueline. Hey, saying, "Oh, wow. Thank you for joining in." We have Beast Mode saying, "Said that and say that, because clock that, period." We have Jaleesa in here saying, "Hey, y'all."
Hi,
hey, Jaleesa. Bless you. We had a time,
we had
y'all.
fun over the weekend.
We did. I think we got some scenes. We actually did follow up on our promise to go to Frankenmuth, and we had really fun.
We did.
Like, so much fun. So I'll make sure I post that. And then we do have some questions in here. Okay, so we have two. One right here. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Right now, I am actually working on that process for the next 10 years. What I can say is it is in alignment with what I went to school for. It does give me that mental fortitude, that challenge, that push. I will be living to the fullest extent of myself. I'm going to finish everything I set out to do. And when y'all see what is about to come forward, I can optimistically say that y'all will be proud of you, girl.
Yeah.
Because it's a great choice, and it comes with great opportunities and benefits.
Okay.
So I can't wait to walk into that path, but I don't want to jinx it yet.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to say about it so far.
Okay, good.
The next question we have is, did you experience difficulties or prejudices while in Taiwan?
Okay, can you tell them about the bus story? Remember when you was riding on the bus and the lady told you shouldn't ride in the sun and not remember when you okay, stand up.
So okay, yeah, because it's been a couple instances like that. So the one she's talking about is I was in Taiwan, I was riding on a bus, and it's hot. Those windows are big, and like I told y'all, I got chocolate in Taiwan because it's an island. I was in Kaohsiung. The south of it is kind of like Hawaii almost, or our Florida is what I can compare it to. Sun is always out. And the Taiwanese culture, for their aesthetics, is to stay in the shade as much as possible. The whiter the skin or the paler the skin is like their beauty aesthetics. So it'll be 90 degrees, 100 degrees outside. They'll have a full sun hat, gloves, whatever to cover their skin from getting tan. And we're the opposite. I love the sun. So I was riding on the bus, sun just shining on me. And I don't, was this the old lady or was it?
Yeah,
yep. Yeah. She was telling me not to sit in the sun, that I should get out of the shade so I don't get darker. But I mean, it's like too late.
Go ride on that side of the bus.
Go to the other side with the shade. There's been a few instances. What I will say about Taiwan is, like I said, when I went, I was one of the first Black people that the area of people I was in, I was down south. I wasn't in like the New York, which is Taipei of Taiwan, which is very tourist heavy. I was with the rurals and the natives of that area.
Right.
So a lot of those people down there, they had never seen not maybe an African person, but not a African American, a true American Black person. So I would get a lot of questions like, when you eat chocolate, how do you know when to stop? And when you eating it. And I couldn't do anything but laugh because it was just genuine, like, ignorance to never seeing a Black person before. Like, they truly didn't know. If you grow up in a place where everybody looks the same and you don't see anybody that looks different than you, all the questions you're gonna get is hilarious. They would ask me, do I know Obama? Am I friends with Sasha and Malia? Is that one of our people? Do me and Beyonce hang out? Or I would get comparisons to Beyonce, like, she's gorgeous and I think I'm beautiful, but that's the only Black person they know. So I would get, you look like Beyonce. Oh, Beyonce.
Yeah. And I think the biggest culture shock, they couldn't understand, they couldn't fathom that me and you were mother and daughter.
Right. Oh, so we do have a moment. We were walking down the street when she came to visit me. And like I said, this is our skin tones are very different. So they would be like, oh, how is that your mom? But you're so dark and she's so light. How does that work? Because they couldn't fathom that we come in so many different shades and we're all black, but we're very versatile. Like it's nothing like us.
Yeah.
So we would get the funny, are you sure that's really your mom? And then my mom she's gorgeous and stacked. I'll just say this in the best way. Her physique is very beautiful. So they would just be talking about her, saying, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, is that how you guys look in America? Oh, that's really your mom. Because they're used to just one body type, one skin tone, and one aesthetic kind. Okay, we do have another question. Let's see. So what does it feel like to be an awesome sister? How are you so cool? Well, I appreciate that. I would say my siblings make me who I am. They have been my ride or dies. I say we are an example to families because we are so close. We're all 3 years apart, and most siblings fight. They don't hang out. I love my siblings because I'm the only girl. I call them my brother sisters because I don't have any sisters. But those are my dogs. I just say it like that. Them is my dogs. Any venture or idea I've taken on, they've always pushed me to do it. Let's see.
That's true. Because family is important, and but just like you guys are close, my sisters and I are close, so that's where you guys get it from. And I remember when my father was passing away, and we hadn't seen him in a while, and we all showed up. He's like, "Oh, I didn't think you guys were going to show up for me." He was like, "Yeah," and then he was surprised that all of the family unit was so tight. So it's not just me and my sisters, but all our kids are all we tight. So it's like it's challenging to have friends outside of our unit because we ride for each other.
And they don't understand the closeness of our family.
But I want to say this. I am thankful for my family and us being close like that, because I realize the more and more I do this podcast, I hear stories of families not even speaking to each other's mother and daughters not talking, brothers haven't talked in years. You haven't talked to and at first I found that to be hard, but then I see it's a real thing. So I don't take it lightly that we all are as close as we are, and you guys are close too. And so I just want to say, I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for riding for each other, and I appreciate my squad for showing up the way they do. So
because we're gonna show up and show out. And speaking of showing up and showing out, this next question is from my dad. Shout out to you, Pops. I love my dad, you guys. That's my twin. My brothers I love my mom. That's my road dog. But my brothers look like my mom. I look like my dad. So, I gotta shout out my dad. You only get one dad. So he says, I have a question. How was it to adapt to living conditions and learning where to go and who to talk to? I would have been nervous, but you built different. It was different but fun because I'm adventurous. I always want to do things that nobody does. So that excites me. I also was out there by myself. I didn't go out there with family or people I knew. The other 6 people in my group of 7 were people I had never met before, and we were all scattered over the United States. They were from like Washington, Arizona, Minnesota, places that weren't where we were all from. Like, you could take thumbtacks and put it across the map of the United States and we would have never ran into each other. So being out there not only with strangers, but by myself, it was more of a challenge and fun for me. I took it as like, oh, this is about to be fun. Let me see what opportunities I can get, who I can meet. And I was challenging myself with my Chinese. I was like really putting myself to the test. You've been telling your mama you're going to learn this language. Let's see what you know, what you're going to accomplish. So I would just talk to anybody I seen. I made friends with old people. The neighbors at my house were my best friends, and they were like elderly. We would have tea times and coffee time. They were putting me hip to all the stuff in Taiwan. So it just really showed stuff that, like, it got rid of my shyness, and it showed me that you're not caged, or you're not as, I don't know, as timid as I thought I was. And I really can go for whatever I look forward to.
I think I like the fact that you made friends all over the world. So not just American friends, but you both have friends in Russia, India, different countries. and you still are in contact with those people. And it was so funny because when I came to Taiwan, there were different people saying, "Hey, Miss Erica, your podcast really blessed me." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know I was trending in Taiwan." And because of you all, people in other countries watch the podcast as well. And then Kulante had a friend from India saying, "Hey, Q, is your mom podcast going on? Does she have another book coming out?" And so, I appreciate you guys like spreading the word, and knowing that all of us have been a blessing to everybody that we come in contact with. Like, that's magnificent that my offsprings, you guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We get it from our mom.
But I want to say this. So you get into this speaking Chinese and going over to Taiwan. But before we got there, you started bringing Chinese people into our house.
Okay? I did.
Right. So we started with a young lady for 2 weeks. She stayed with us for 2 weeks. Yeah. That was fine. You was there, went to high school. But then after that, we signed up for a young man. And then you bounce on me and you move and you leave me with the Chinese kids.
Yeah.
No. So I was stuck raising Chinese kids for like 3 years. How many years? About 4 or 5 years.
3-4 years, yep.
And so now I'm had to sacrifice my time to take them to school and their activities, and you over in Taiwan living your best life when this was all your idea.
It was. But I feel like it was beneficial on both ends, because one thing you can say about our family is when people seen that we were doing that, it broadened us to new opportunities here. We met lots of people, other host families. We became friends with the other families. You made really good friends from that, really good contacts. It's just, I do definitely encourage, if you don't want to go overseas, look into programs to see if your school or neighboring organizations offer becoming a host family, even if it's for a week or two, because we don't get the light we deserve, especially as Black people. They just give us, we're usually stereotyped or stigmatized by what they see on TV. The best way to show people who we are and really give out our culture and show the great things about us is to first person experiences, and being a host family for people will change their lives.
So Lynn Lee, before we that's her name, y'all. Lynn Lee, before we, go on to the next segment of the podcast, and I thank you for being a guest on Erica Lynn Speaks podcast, would you like to leave a word for the audience, something that can inspire them? Because the topic of the show is peace, power, and purpose. So, talk a little bit about, inspire them into walking into their purpose, basically.
I'll say my dreams of everything that I've done in my life so far started off with just trying to prove the world wrong, that I don't have to just be a stereotype. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. All the people I know in my life went to school. The stigma for us was, especially men and women, you get in the streets, you go to jail, you die. God forbid you end up pregnant early, not married. The life doesn't really go the way that you expect. And I wanted to prove that it was just more to that than my life, my type of background. I didn't want to be the regular, this is just how I'm going to live my life. I wanted to show that we can do way more than the limits that they set. We can push those even further and go past it. There is no line set for us. There is no opportunity that is too hard to grasp. And there is no dream that is too far to catch. So always, if you want to do it, and people may say it sounds crazy, that should be the drive to show you that that's even more reason for you to do it. Prove them wrong, show them what I can do. Shout out to my dad. You can do anything you put your mind to. He used to say that to me every day, and instilled that into me. So there is nothing that I don't think I can accomplish. There is nothing that I don't find impossible for me. Obviously flying, I don't have a superpower, but if it's something that I could probably figure that out if I had the innovation skills. But always strive for whatever it is you feel you can do, and then push those bounds and go even further. Do not short yourself. I don't believe in settling. I believe in always going further, because we were meant to do so much. So
awesome. Yay! That was beautiful. Thank you for that. So when we get into our next segment of the show, we want to talk about this healing box, right? We always play the video for the healing box, but we actually brought the healing box. We opened the healing box, and we want to talk about it. So first of all, Deja did a TikTok live for me on the healing box, and I wasn't in the room with her, but I was driving home, and so she answered the phone, and it was so funny because she sounded like she was going 49, 59, 9, 55, 55. and so And so everybody was jumping into that TikTok live, but I appreciate you for doing that. So let's talk about the healing box, right? So in this healing box, it's more like a motivational, inspiring healing box. Well, inspiring box. And so if you're going through some things in your life and you need a pick me up, you need an inspiration, the box is for you. So I brought this box out probably about, I don't know, four years ago. And my mother, she says, I still have my box. I really love and enjoy my box. It really gave me a pick me up. And so inside of the box is the poem. So when we play the healing box video, I actually have the poem that I put on hard copy. And I didn't put it on a little cheap piece of paper for y'all. Okay, I gave you a nice hard copy. You have a journal, and inside of the Erica Lynn Speaks journal, it's an opportunity for you to jot down the things that you are, that you just want to get off your mind. Address your, just what you're going through daily, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Because the one thing that I always say about journaling is you can write it down today, and then you go back next month, a month later, you look, you come back to it and you read it and you go, wow, I didn't know that I was experiencing that, or I was going through that particular mindset. And it was funny because I pulled out some of my old journals when I was going through that place. I go, dang, all I wrote about was depression. And so, and so it's a blessing to be in this place, in this space today, because I write about some awesome things today, so to compare my journals from back then to now, you can see where God have started you from to where he's taken you to, then you get a copy of the book, 7 Techniques of Healing, How I Overcame Abuse to Live My Authentic Life. And although the book does talk about some of the abusive moments, it's not specifically on that. The book asks you questions, and it takes you through a step-by-step guide to going through your healing journey, the techniques, the 7 techniques that you literally use to help you start from being in this place of sadness to overcoming that and walking into, who God called you to be. And I always know where everybody is on a book, especially like people that's close to me, because my phone will ring and they'll be crying, oh my God. And I go, oh, you're reading the book, right? But then after they get past that part, that emotional part, then they like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Because there was one young lady in particular, she, I pulled her to the side, I talked to her, I gave her the book, and then she talked to us the next day, and she was like, your book really changed my life. I'm going back to school. This is what I'm doing. She kicked her boyfriend out the house. For real, though. It's a true story. And to see her now, like she's thriving in life. But the book has really blessed a lot of people throughout the years. And so if you need a pick me up and you need a step-by-step guide to get through it, then the 7 Techniques of Healing.
And also this book is purchasable separately, so you guys can get that. I believe it's on Amazon. Yep. So go there if you do just want to look for that book now. It is available.
And so also it's a flash drive inside of the box, and it's an album. I did a motivational, inspirational album called Never Give Up. And one of my favorite pieces on there is Motivating Into Your Purpose. So one day, probably in the next 2 weeks, I'll say, since we're going to be doing these lives, and I think that's befitting, I'm going to do Motivating Into Your Purpose on one of our podcasts. I'm going to do it live, because I don't think I've ever did it live before, other than in the studio when we recorded it. And so, but the Never Give Up album is on here, and so it'll bless you and touch you. It'll really make a difference in your life, because I listen to this piece in the morning, like when I'm riding down the highway going to do my little hustle in the morning, and sometimes I play it over and over again, and then I just bust out crying, because not that I'm talking to myself, but like, wow, I recorded something a couple years ago, and it's so befitting to this day to just walk into your purpose and don't give up. You know, God is not going to let you stop. And to see myself out of hiding, I think that's the emotional part, to have come out of hiding after 2.5 years to be here. So I'm excited about that. So
and that's on all platforms, guys.
Yes.
I do run when I go to the gym and I listen to her album. You can go find it, play it, get a sneak peek of it before you order your box and go listen to it.
Yes. So then we got the eucalyptus stress relief body cream, and we also have that in lavender. And then you also got the eucalyptus essential oil. And then you get some tea, a box of tea, right? Because healing, you can't heal without your tea, trust me. Because somebody told me get some tea in a hot toddy. And so you can't, you gotta have some tea. So I'm gonna take that person advice. And then this is your plug-in. So it's a eucalyptus plug-in, but we also have that in lavender. And then but we have the candle. And I didn't play y'all. I got you guys a 3-wick candle, right? So I made sure that I did you right, and it smells so good. But Deja, can you so the new boxes came in today. So this is the boxes, but the new boxes have a new design. Open up the box. The inside of the box is designed as well. And so it says love, heal, grow, and faith. And so the box is meant to inspire you and heal you from the inside and out. So go to ELShealingbox.com and get your healing box today. You guys will not, you'll love it. You'll love it. I'm excited. You'll love it. So we're not going to play the healing box video for you because you can find it on, you can find it on my YouTube channel. And, but I'm excited about that. So we're going to getting ready to, do you have any last words?
Any last words? Get the healing box. It is worth it. And she put it on sale for y'all.
Yes.
So she put it on sale. It is available on the TikTok shop. If you're one of those TikTok shoppers, you scrolling through the day, you can search up Erica Lynn Speaks Healing Box. You can also go to the ELS Healing Box website. And then once her website is up and running, there'll be links and attachments to everything. But you got 2 ways to purchase it. Reason why I promote TikTok shop is because they have Klarna, y'all. Klarna and Afterpay. So if you want to pay in for, go on TikTok shop. Okay, it is so worth it. This whole box is about making you feel good, and who doesn't want to feel good, especially
Absolutely.
in this day and age? There's so much going on. Get you a healing box.
Absolutely. So I want to shout out to our sponsors. Thank you, ETSN 24/7, for sponsoring this episode. I want to shout out to the Glam Squad, Paris and Coastal Line, for sponsoring the nails. I want to shout out to Mia Shante, my Glam Squad, for making sure that we right and tight when we come on camera. No flaws. And before we get out of here, we just want to leave you with some closing remarks. So today's podcast name, and she spoke in Chinese, and I hope that blessed and touched you. Let you know that Black and brown girls all over the world, you guys can do something amazing because you are amazing. So if you want to speak Chinese, you want to speak Spanish, French, whatever it is, open up for your horizon. And if you're in Michigan, please step on the other side of the 8 Mile, because there's so much more in this world for you to see and adventure on. And I just want to leave you guys with my word of the day, which is peace. Peace means, the P in peace is pour. Pour into yourself, pour into others, pour into that thing that you want to grow and develop. Elevate to your next level. Elevate for what it is that God is calling you to be. Aspire to be more than what you normally see in your normal surroundings. There's so much more to life. Cultivate. You got to cultivate that thing. You got to put water on it. You got to grow it. You got to grow, put water on that seed and grow it and cultivate it so that you can grow to be something amazing. And then the last, to eat excellence. Whatever it is that you decide to do, you're definitely going to be excellent at it. So that's my word for the day, peace. And I'm so excited, and I thank Deja for coming to be my guest on the podcast today. We love you. We love you. You're amazing. We're so excited. We'll see you guys next week for Erica Lynn podcast, because it only takes just one step beyond